How's it going, everybody? Welcome to a brand new tutorial. We are going to be learning how to make procedural planets. It's more like a procedural texturing tutorial. I just wanted to put it into some context. Obviously, you can use all of these methods in all your procedural texturing needs, but these are just the basics. Over here is the primary nodes that you'll probably see in like almost everyone's setup when it comes to procedural texturing. We're going to be utilizing these, except for that vertex color thing. I put that there by accident. Yeah, anyways, let's get started. Quick side note here, if you watch back to my dynamic paint tutorial, you'll remember that I had an earth in there, like a fully made earth. I am not going to be showing you how to make that here. I just want to keep this simple for basic Blender users. You can see the node setup here. It's kind of crazy and probably would take me a whole tutorial just to explain how to make. So I'll go over that in a future tutorial, probably after July, because the video I used that earth in comes out. So get ready for that as well. Anyways, let's just get right into the tutorial. First things first is an Earth-like planet, but way simpler. First, add a Musgrave texture, then a color ramp, plug all of those into the principled BSDF. Then just adjust the colors to be more Earth-like on the color ramp. Next, let's add an atmosphere, because you know, we need oxygen. I mean, like, we'll die without it, so like, for the atmosphere, we're going to add a Fresnel node, plug that into another color ramp, and then plug that into the emission layer. Adjust the white value to the atmosphere color that you want it to be. For instance, we're going to go for like a light blue here, something simple. Alright, now you could be done here. This is good, but we're going to spice it up a little bit and adjust some of the roughness, specular, and normal maps, because why the fuck not, son? We special! Add 2 color ramps. Plug the original Musgrave texture into both the color ramps, and then put those color ramps into the specular and roughness values. From there, try to adjust the values to match where the water and the land should be. Obviously, water shinier, land not. I don't know what else how to explain that, son. Now, let's add a bump node and another color ramp. Plug the original Musgrave texture into that new color ramp, and then plug it into the bump node. Then, just plug it into the principled BSDF's normal. Then you can just adjust the color ramp accordingly. Simple. It's just to give it some topography. I don't know how to pronounce that word. You know what I mean though, I think. Now for an even tinier extra step, let's add a cloud layer. Duplicate the original sphere, scale it up a tiny bit, duplicate the shader and get rid of everything besides the Musgrave, and add a new color ramp. Plug the Musgrave into the color ramp, then plug in that color ramp into the alpha layer. On Eevee, make sure in the material settings you change it to alpha blend. This is very important if you want it to be see-through on the black parts. Adjust the scale in the settings for the Musgrave texture, so that way it's not the same as the land. That way it gives some variety to the clouds. Alright, we're moving on. Fast, next. This is a fast fucking pace tutorial, motherfucker. We going. We zooming. This is going too long. I'm talking too much. Alright, let's go. Alright, we're gonna play around with this one here, and we're gonna mix some values. It's pretty simple. Use any texture here. I tend to use a Musgrave texture a lot, so that's what I'm gonna use. Create 2 textures and 2 color ramps. Then add 1 more texture and another color ramp. This can be, again, anything. Then, most importantly, add a mix RGB. Plug 2 of the textures into the mix RGB, and then that other one that we made, we're going to also plug into the mix RGB's factor. Lastly, just plug in the mix RGB into the base color of the principled BSDF. Then just play around with the colors here. You know, you can play around with the settings, add multiple layers of mix RGB. It doesn't really matter. The more detailed you get, the better it'll probably look, and these are all procedural. None of these planets actually exist, so you can really, you know, get some neat results and create some unique planets depending on the style you're going for. You know, be creative, guys. That's what I promote here. Anyways, let's move on. Alright, for the gas planet, we're only going to be using 2 nodes. Add in a magic texture, and then add in a color ramp. Plug them bitches into the base color. For a decent result, for something I liked, I changed the magic texture's depth to 10, the scale to 1, and distortion I bumped up to 1.6. Then on the base color's color ramp, add a bunch of values and start messing with the colors, from least darkest to darkest. Be creative here. You can make the planet look like literally anything. I made it look like this, for instance. I'm not really looking at anything, but I made it look like that. It's cute. It's cute, you know. Get creative. You know, they usually have actual color schemes to these planets, but you can make it look like a fucking gum drop. Jesus Christ, I can't speak. Alright, let's do a basic sun. There's actually a bunch of ways you could do this, but we're gonna do it using a wave texture just so I can show you all of the nodes here. Add in a wave texture and a color ramp, plug them both into the base color. Same thing as before. Now mess around with the settings on the magic texture and try to make it more sunlight. You can match my settings here if you'd like. Again, be creative. Fuck up out of here trying to copy my settings. Then change the color ramp on the base color to have about 3 values. A kind of deeper orange and a slightly higher value of yellow. You know, sun colors, fire colors, all that. Now let's have that motherfucking glow, cause you know this shit ain't stationary. It glowing, it burning. It's fusion, son. We're going to add 3 nodes here: a Fresnel node, color ramp, and a mix RGB. Plug all of those into the mix RGB and then grab the original color ramp and put that. Then after that, plug the mix RGB into the emission. If you're on EV, make sure you have bloom turned on and also just adjust the emission strength so that way it's a little bit brighter and it actually glows. You could do the glow in compositing, but we're going to do it here. For the Fresnel node, we're just going to adjust the color ramp to have a slight red on the white part and leave the black the way that it is because the black will appear transparent at the end. For an extra step, we're going to add a bump node, plug in the original color ramp into the bump node and adjust the strength. This way all the black parts kind of recede in and adds a little bit of texture there. Then for extra animation purposes, let's plug in driver. You can do this by just typing in #frame on whatever value you want to animate over the course of time. We're going to do it on the phase offset because I found that to be the best. If it's too fast, you can just add in divided by whatever. I did 10 for basic purposes, but you can do any number here. Alright, for a rocky planet, this one's actually pretty simple. We're going to add in a noise texture, 2 color ramps, and a bump node. Plug one of the color ramps into the base color and the other one into the bump node, which then goes into the normal, same as before. From there, just adjust the scale, detail, roughness of the noise texture so that way it looks a little bit more rocky. If you remember my how to make an environment tutorial, it's actually the same way I did the rocks. Same shit, son. We ain't creative. We do the same thing, motherfucker. We just go across. It's the same throughout every project. Always the same. Anyways, let's just keep going. Then yeah, the fucking colors and shit. You play with it, you know. I mean, I'm not gonna explain it too much because we've already done over we've done this 50,000 times. I'm done explaining it. Learn how to do it. Alright, now that we went over all of this, I don't actually want you guys to follow me along this time. I want you guys to create a completely unique planet from what you've learned. For now, you're just going to see a time lapse of me doing the same exact thing. And if you happen to follow along with this, tag me on Instagram with maybe a planet that you made. Something using these procedural shaders, or just something cool. If you had a cool planet and you're like, ooh, I got really detailed in this and I did some things outside of what we learned here, I still want to see them. Tag me, send them to me, whatever it is. I want to see what y'all can do. anyways, that's about it. Let's head to the outro. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you came through to the end, I appreciate you more than the people that stayed for the first 30 seconds. You know how this YouTube algorithm works. That was about it for this video. Next week on Monday, hopefully I will have a AI video. It's going to be a little different. It's not a tutorial. I have some things I want to talk about with AI that not a whole lot of people have been talking about. It's going to be like a concept video. It'll be fun. I'll actually be on camera this time. I'm thinking about keeping the camera stuff to a minimum here, to be honest. My cousin just walked in. Sup? Anyways, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace.